Hi there, folks, and welcome to this week's solutions for the Daily Rigour, issue number 306. So, from our first top story this week, the world population hits 8 billion, and that actually happened on the 15th of November. So, what we have to do, first of all, is we have to write this landmark figure as a number. So, obviously, 8 billion, so we'll need the number 8. If we put three zeros on, that'll be 8,000, nowhere near 8 billion. If we put another three zeros on, that'll then give us 8 million if you think about all your place values. So in order to make it 8 billion, we'll need another three zeros on top of that. So 8 and 9 zeros. So we're expecting, according to these experts, that the population is going to increase from 8 billion to 9 billion in 5 quarters the amount of time that it took to increase from 7 to 8 billion. So what we need to do first of all here is work out 5 quarters of 12 years. So we'll take our 12 and we'll find 1 quarter by dividing by 4, and then we'll find 5 quarters by multiplying this 1 quarter by 5. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 times 5 is 15. So in 15 years' time, the population is expected to hit 9 billion. So how do we work out when that will be? Well, all we have to do is add 15 onto the current year, which is 2022, to get an answer of 2037. That's when we're expecting the population to reach 9 billion. And you never know, we might cover a story on it in issue number 5639. Okay, so on to our second story. I quite like this one. So a man at a train platform found a cheque for this ridiculous amount of money from a store to the confectionery company Haribo. So when he wanted to return the cheque, but instead they made him destroy it and take a picture of him doing it, so they knew that it had been destroyed. And then after that, they sent him a box which contains 6 bags of Haribo sweets. Now, bear in mind the size of the cheque, maybe that is a wee bit cheap. Now, anyway, how many £1 bags of Star Mix could have been bought? Never mind six. How many could you have bought for the value of the cheque? To give us an idea if this is somewhat cheap or not. Well, what we need to do first of all is change the euros back into pounds. So we're going to take the amount on the cheque and we're going to divide by the exchange rate. So we're going to divide by 1.16. So that's going to come to this figure here. So basically, we could buy 392,705 and a bit bags of Star Mix. So we're a wee bit short to buy the 3,992,706 bag, which means we have to round down for the context of the question. So the answer we're looking for was 3,992,705 bags of Star Mix. Okay, so you may have noticed on your televisions that the Qatar World Cup 2022 is well underway. So what we're wanting to know first of all is how many teams are competing all together. Well, of course, you've got 4 teams in each group. There's 8 groups all together, so it's going to be 8 times 4, which is 32 teams. Now, a good bit trickier now, how many football matches will be played all together in the tournament? Well, if we consider the group games first of all, so let's take this group as an example. Well, their team 1 would have to play team 2. Then the key here is to be nice and systematic. Team 1 would also have to play team 3, and team 1 would also have to play team 4. Now, what have we then got? We've got team 2 needs to play team 3, team 2 also needs to play team 4, and then just to finish off, we need team 3 to play team 4, and that's how many matches there are for every team to play each other exactly once. So that's going to be 6 games altogether in the group game. In the group games. Now that's just for one group, of course. So there's 8 groups altogether, so that has to happen 8 times. So that's going to be 48 matches in the group games. Now what happens then is that 2 teams from each group. So these 2 teams from each group will qualify for the last 16, as it's called. So that means there's 16 teams where each of those teams will play another team in a knockout style. So that's going to be 8 matches in the last 16. So that means the 8 teams then are going to qualify for the quarterfinals, which means there'll be 4 matches to play there. And then that means that 4 teams are going to qualify for the semi-finals. So that's another 2 matches. There's then 1 match for the third place playoff. That's the one a lot of people forget about. And then another one for the final itself, which means that there's 64 matches altogether. Isn't that just absolutely fantastic? Now, if you don't like football, don't worry. Once the group games are over, there's not half as many games on TV. Anyway, So on to our final story. So a classic example of British Italian cuisine, the Heinz baked bean pizza has returned to shelves after a 20-year absence. Not sure why this is entirely newsworthy, but anyway. If I eat 3 slices for my dinner and have a cheeky cold slice for my breakfast the next morning, what fraction of the pizza have I eaten? And that's assuming that all these slices are of equal size. Now, if they are, and I've eaten 3 slices, that's going to be half the pizza. But for the purposes of this, I'll call it 3 out of 6. And then that cheeky cold slice will be another 1/6. So altogether, we're adding 2 fractions with the same denominators, so we just have to add the tops. That'll be 4/6. Now we can simplify this fraction by dividing top and bottom by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So I've eaten 2/3 of the pizza. Guys, that was our solutions for this week. We hope you enjoyed solving these problems. Stay tuned for next week's edition, when we're going to be looking at more stories from the news of the week and the numbers behind them. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and bye for now.